knowledge sharing aspect of working between the global north, global south, and everything in between, I think nowadays, because I think it's a little bit too linear to try and pick one or the other. We obviously are coming at this discussion from a little bit of a Commonwealth standpoint. And I wondered if you had any thoughts on how the Commonwealth as an organization, or the nations that make up this body, can better support India in terms of dealing with climate change challenges, if there's that opportunity to knowledge share between Barbados, India, Fiji, the UK, so that everybody has the best solutions.
Right. Oh, yeah. Within the Commonwealth, there has been so much support for each other in terms of natural crisis or in terms of crisis related to peace. So I feel there's a lot of partnerships. India has signed, I think, MOUs with almost all the nations which would agree to it in different aspects, be it, knowledge sharing, education, armaments, and so on. We did a mock COP a few years ago where we were discussing, like, if the situation is there for a hydrometeorological storm, where there's a lot of tsunamis, and these 5 group of countries, which are the developing, the like-minded, the island nations, and then G7 plus China. How do we, negotiate between the countries? Who will determine what? So I think the most good solution that came out of it was that island countries would help us, developing nations, understand the traditional methods of dealing with tsunamis and typhoons. The developed nations would give us the resources like life jackets and better boats and better engine ferries and things like that. And us developing nation countries, which have a fantastic program on disaster management, would then give the trainings to do it. So that way there's a sharing of resource, capacity, and technology, all 3 of that. I think that is happening within the Commonwealth. There are a lot of programs that support it. But it would be great if it comes under the umbrella and not just BRICS and Commonwealth, but it comes under the bigger umbrella of COP, where everybody, everybody's resources are interlinked with one another. I think how we have the food web, I think we need to have a resource sharing web as well in the world.
I think that's a fantastic idea, because we do have these big global systems and frameworks for so many things, and climate change is such a significant challenge that we really do need to come together. So I 100% agree. It's a fantastic thought. The leaning towards maybe the less positive view of the climate crisis, we are seeing a lot of stagnation when it comes to climate action. We're seeing the political atmosphere change when it comes to the climate crisis, particularly with some heavily polluting nations. I won't name who. I think we all know. Do you have any concerns of how this might affect your sense of security or hopes for India's future development? And if this climate crisis isn't tackled properly within the next few years, if this is going to affect your life and the lives of those around you?
It definitely would, Kate, because like I said, from going from nearly 200 heat days to almost nearing 300 heat days, and that's within a decade. So it's a big crisis that's waiting to happen. It's the tipping points have already been crossed, and many people who are comfortable and easy going, who have the affordability to it, are safely sitting at homes, but there are people who are still struggling with floods. Within India, there is so much flood-related migration that's happening. People are moving from one place to another, even in the cities, who live in informal settlements. It's a big crisis for them. And until we understand that, I don't think we will be able to see that action. Most of the younger generation, at least if I speak for India, our generations are still very focused on the 2 careers that exist in the world, which is engineering and doctor. And that's about it. Many people still don't understand us environmental scientists in India, but they think we do some NGO work. I don't understand how that narrative has gotten built. So to convince them that the action research that we do, the implementation that we bring about, is really essential. And I think I am someone who leads by example. So when it came to showing my own small city in the Western India, I did a cleanup of a river where we removed 700 kgs of waste in about 4 hours. We saw more crocodiles come back. We were really lucky that we got encouragement from UNEP and from CE India. And, we were able to take that forward in different languages so that more people get together. We were able to take the story on the United Nations Ocean Conference platform. And I think that is something that showed younger generations in India. And I'm just one of those examples of like the brilliant examples we have from India, from South Asia, from Kenya, who have been, the torch bearers for doing these things. And they are inspiring action, but not at the rate that we could. We really want to, be able to have teams all across our countries which work together in synchronicity. But again, our education system does not enable students to be, as passionate. It's very much on the lines of like just get this exam done with. So even our education policy is something that is sort of hindering that action. We're slowly moving there, but not at the rate that the climate is changing. So I don't know. To bridge that gap, we need to accelerate our efforts on the education and awareness front, and we really need to push the brakes on the production front.